the very first mermaid that there ever was. She was a goddess who fell in love with a human shepherd, but her divine strength accidentally took his life. Overcome by grief and guilt, she jumped off a cliff and went into the ocean. Now, apparently gods usually turn into fish when they jump into the ocean, but apparently this goddess was just too beautiful for that fate. The transformation stopped halfway through, and that's when she became the first mermaid. So obviously half fish, half human, but in her case she was half fish, half goddess. But yeah, that is the tale about how mermaids first came to be, which I find pretty fascinating. So let's talk about the Japanese mermaid. Instead of a half fish, half person, it's actually a half snake, half person. This Japanese myth is known as Nur-Onna, and she has the face and hair of a woman, but the eyes and teeth of a snake. Apparently, she sits by the shore, cradling a bundle to trick humans into thinking she's a distressed mother holding a baby. So people going past her would think, oh my gosh, there's a woman drowning in the ocean with her child. They say that if they go up to her and take her baby to help her, the bundle will become as heavy as rocks and will pull them down into the ocean. Then Nur-Onna uses her long pointed tongue to drain their blood at a pace that suits her. In some different versions of the tale, she even strangles her victims with her long hair. Then we have another tale from a different part of the world called the Blue Men of the Minch. Scottish folklore tells of a strange group of creatures that inhabit one particular strait. According to legend, they would appear in groups with only their torsos raised out of the water. These Blue Men of Minch would wave sailors in a friendly manner, and the sailors would assume that they were innocent people in need of rescue. But the closer the sailors would get to these men, they would realize that their skin is actually blue, and their faces were elongated and twisted and creepy. Unfortunately, sailors close enough to recognize the blue men were close enough to become their prey. The blue men would grab them, drag them into the water, and would eat them. So it's interesting to see how these old mermaid tales would make it look like they were in distress in the water, and then when people would come to help them, that's it for them. Then we have Irish mermaids. In Irish folklore, selkies are seal women. When these creatures want to go on land, they simply peel off their skins and reveal their human forms, and then they stow their skin behind a rock. Unfortunately for them, any man can make a selkie his bride if he steals her skin, as long as he keeps the skin in a hidden place and oils it frequently. So if he falls in love with one of these girls, he has to hide her seal skin, and that way she's unable to wear it again and go off into the water. It's so weird. Selkie love stories always end in tragedy for the man, because apparently they never stop looking for their skin, and eventually they do find it, they put it back on and go back in the water and never come back again.